Y'all, this is the best reality show I like on television. It's Belle Collective. They have a way to show the women and all their accomplishments without any um, men involved, really. They have husbands, some of them do, but they take a back seat as opposed to, let's say, Love and Marriage Huntsville. So the first, this is season 3. So the first scene is JJ's mother is coming to live with them. She doesn't know how long. She's bumping the horn in her convertible. JJ, come here, come here. You're supposed to greet me. So his wife, so Gucci, is looking like, okay, you gonna handle this all by yourself, because he told her, well, she'll be here to cook and do this and that. And she said, that's what I've been made for. But he said he couldn't tell her no. So she comes in and she says, well, I like my coffee at 4:30 in the morning, and I like the percolator kind, not the new kind that you have. So, I don't know if the maid is supposed to fix his coffee or what. And then she's running around the house later. JJ, where are you? Where are you? So his wife said, he's going to handle this mess himself. So that was that scene. The next, Latrice and Cliff. Now, she's married to the older man. And she went to apologize to him for the first episode when he grabbed her arm because she was out drinking with a friend of hers after work, and she went to apologize to him. So the bottom line is, he said, we are not equal. I'm the man of the house, and as far as her business, he has no problem with that. She has a multi-million-dollar hair care business, and he doesn't see anything wrong with that. But when it comes to the house, he's the man. He also said that she went out drinking with the enemy because their friend Josh, or her friend, co-worker, was staying with her for a while because of the water situation in Jackson, Mississippi, and he sort of didn't like the way Cliff was treating her, so he stepped in and Cliff threw him out. So whatever, but he still has a job working with her. So the bottom line is, Cliff said that, Latrice, you are not equal to me, and you went out with the enemy, and that's the bottom line. And she feels like, well, whatever her husband says goes, pretty much. The next scene, there was a brunch with Gucci, Marie, and Aikisha. So they happened to tell Aikisha that over at the condo that she was going to rent, Latrice, no, not Latrice, Lakeisha, that her husband walked in and scared them because they didn't know he knew how he was, how they were going to set up this apartment and not tell him. And he was ravaging and raging, and it was a mess. So then they said that Latrice was having a hair show, and was Marie coming? Marie and Latrice never got along the whole 3 seasons already. So she said, no, I'm not going, because that, would be like, why would I go to her brunch? Now, guys, the brunch they've always had at for season 1 and season 2. Now, Carlos King, who's the producer, was interviewing DJ Richie Sky, and he asked him, what about the brunch? Now, that's the time when the ladies get dressed up, they sit around, they talk about their accomplishments. He said, oh, no, I don't want it to be too predictable, because we had the brunch 2 times in every season. but predictable. Don't you think um, Huntsville is predictable? And that's his other show. I mean, every time you turn around, they're breaking the ground for whatever they're gonna build. They did one Sunday. They broke the ground. I don't even know what they're gonna do. And the only thing they did in 5 years is had one opening for a lounge. So that is, pretty predictable. So if it, I guess if Carlos likes to highlight the men, and Melody had a tea, a tea party on Huntsville. I guess he would have the men sitting there with little tea hats on, their little hats, and drinking tea if he could. I mean, Martell has a business opening every month. He said he had 5 kids, but are the businesses flourishing? I don't know. So I would think that I want the brunch back. And, feel free to comment if you would like the brunch back, because that's a way that all the ladies get together and show off their accomplishments. So Cliff and Glenn have a conversation. I don't know what it's about, because both of them talk like they real country. Sorry. So they even put subtitles in Cliff's when he's talking, because you can't understand him. So the bottom line I got out of this was he put a tracker and a recording in Letitia's truck. So that's how he knew where she was going to move at. So I don't know if that's illegal or what, but that's all I got out of that conversation. Now the next scene, Letitia and her mom get together. She wants to cook dinner for Cliff. She doesn't know when he's gonna be home, but he's over there drinking at out with Glenn. So her mom is talking to her about how she left her father, and Latrice feels like Cliff would leave her, and she would feel abandoned. And her mother said, you shouldn't feel that way because he's not afraid that you're going to leave him. So what are you getting out of this marriage? Now, he's 20 years older than Latrice, 10 years older, or 10 years younger, I guess it's young, and than his mom. And Latrice said something like, oh, well, these Southern men, they like the women to be home and, go to bed at a certain time. I mean, she's 35 years old. So, I mean, there's no hope for her if she's thinking this man is good for her. He doesn't even act like he's young anymore. He treats her like he's her daddy, and she's like, oh, good with that. Okay. So she doesn't even know when he's going to come home and eat dinner. But she's fixing that food just in case he walk in the door right now. So the next scene is, it was very good. Aikisha, all these names. Aikisha, come to find out she was adopted by her aunt because she's a product of a infidelity. Her father was married when she was born, and the aunt adopted her. And the reason why she can deal with being a developer on Farish Street is because they own some of the building. Now, Letitia had bought the idea out in the first episode, but she doesn't own any buildings there. So now Aikisha took over the buildings and that she owns, and I hope that they really show something good happening with this historic street, because she has the opportunity to do this. So her aunt was she was an anesthesiologist and a psychiatrist. So she is semi-retired, and it looks great. She got a great family. So that way, they had a little business talk, and her aunt's going to Italy, so she wanted to firm things up when they do start developing on these buildings. And that's why we need the brunch back also, so that way they can keep us abreast of what's going on with Ferris Street. Meanwhile, Glenn and JJ's in the studio. He wants to sing a song for Letitia because he still wants to get her back. So then he gets a phone call that his grandmother is in the hospital. So he runs over to Letitia's office, which I still don't know what she does. She has an office. I don't know. So she called his sister, and she told the grandmother went to the hospital, and now they have I guess they brought her home. So he asked Letitia, will she go with him to the house? And of course she said yes. So she went with them to the house, and now they put the grandma on hospice care. So that's another thing that he's going to be upset about, and Letitia's going to feel sorry for him. And it's really sad, but that's another way that she will have a reason to not leave him. And I don't know. I guess she's just going to stay with him for this season anyway. So that episode was really good too. And it's an episode, I don't normally do the reviews, but this is really a good show, and I like it. So just hit your comments, subscribe, and like, and let me know if they should have the brunch back, because it's not repetitive, it's not predictable. It's something that is really will keep us abreast of what's going on with the historical street, Ferris Street down there. So thank you again, and don't forget, tonight is the chance for Denver Nuggets to get a title. Once again, I'll see you soon.